So we're driving the world's fastest Maddog 50 down the highway. It was a 55-mile-an-hour road. He's doing everything he can do to go 50. So redlining this baby for about 20 minutes straight, and it just conked out. Oh yeah, when you open the throttle, look at that. Oh, there we go. Nothing but black smoke. Nothing but black smoke. That's probably oil going past. You probably blew a piston ring. We'll drain that oil. I bet you there'll be metal in it.
Wow. So that means
we get
that like this too much for the engine?
He's the fastest Maddog in the world. The fastest 50 in the world can't keep it up, man.
Keep up, not catch up.
You kept this thing pinned way too long. You were probably pinned this whole time.
That is probably something that stressed out the engine, is just having it pinned all the time.
Yeah.
We're not pinning ours, honestly.
I wanted this to keep up with you guys. I have to.
If I pinned mine, I'd be doing 70.
Yeah, I gotta keep up with you guys.
You keep it fine.
Look at this guy. It's nice for you to say that. Get a new engine. Get a new engine. Like, oh wow, but wow.
I find one used.
$300 on eBay.
What?
Engine.
The 150?
150, yeah.
I would get it.
The first thing I did when I got home was pull the plug out, and it was fouled to no end. I told you before, it only takes 3 things to make a bike run. So I got this compression tester at Harbor Freight. It's like $60, I think. You don't have to have a compression tester to check your compression. If it'll blow your thumb or finger off that hole, it's got enough compression to start. And these are pretty handy for determining what's wrong with your engine. So my assumption is we're making no compression. Well, that's crazy. That's great compression. That's 180. Now that new engine I put in mine, that should be a nice crisp piston. And it's got a few runs on it. Probably about 100 miles on it, and it's got 200 psi. So I've seen this bike here run fine with 150 psi, and barely run with 120 psi. Still runs good with 120 psi. It just not very fast. So as far as numbers go, this bike's putting out good numbers. 180 psi should be running great. Got the spark plug touching the ground, and we'll try for spark. Yeah, there's a lot of spark. Compression, we got that. Spark, I got that. And fuel. I'm assuming we have fuel because the spark plug was fouled. I did drain the fuel bowl, and it had fuel in it, and it smells wet and looks wet in there. It has compression, and the other thing was it has spark. So now I'm going to do a more detailed check on those. I'm going to start with the compression one and go into the valves. So the next thing to check in the line of logic is cam timing. Looks like to me the cam timing is on. Yeah, I figured the cam chain might be broken, but it's definitely working. Top dead center, cam's lined up. So now we're going to check valve clearance. I'm not trying to adjust the valves here, I'm just going to check them. I know I set these valves. Usually I go 0.003 and 0.004 exhaust, so I make sure a 3 can fit in there and a 0.006 can't fit in there. So the 3 fits and the 6 does not fit on both intake and exhaust. So valve timing and valve lash is good. A more detailed review of the spark. We're going to try a new spark plug. Got a good spark plug in it. So it was actually running with the new spark plug, but barely. Spark plug comes out fouled. That's 2 things. It's either running too rich, but it's been running rich the whole time. You think it would have exhibited problems before. Or the other thing that would happen when that spark plug is rich is you're getting no spark, or maybe really weak spark. And a really weak spark will cause that spark plug to foul up because you're not burning all the fuel. So the next step we're going to do is the CDI. I swapped out that CDI box. See how it runs now, or if it does. It runs, but kind of terrible. That's weird. So we might be getting somewhere with this spark idea. Let's see, what do we got? The next performance part in line. There's something that's bright red. NCY performance coil. Got the stock coil back on. I'll just bypass the other one. Quick and easy. Green to green, black to black. I'll start it up again. It ran just as crappy with the stock coil as with the NCY coil, so we'll put the NCY coil back on. And this is a 5-wire stator. The red wire is sending power to the CDI, which is in turn sending it to the coil, which is in turn sending it to the spark plug. So that's your trigger wire. Hooked to this, and it also goes to the CDI and tells the CDI when to release power to the coil. The green wire is a ground, so I think that might go to the CDI also. And the yellow and white wires go to the rectifier, turn it into 12 volts, and send it on its way to your charging batteries and things like that. So we had spark, but voltage lower than 20 volts can produce spark. But that spark can't be maintained in the compression of a closed cylinder. You have to have a pretty hot spark. So we're going to test the spark. We put the lead on the red wire there, and we grounded it. So we're going to see what's coming out of this stator, and we need between 20 and 100 volts. And so we got the voltmeter set to AC, and we'll crank it. We've got good volts. Theoretically, that stator is in good shape. The blue wire is the trigger wire. And same test, red lead on it, got it grounded, and we should get at least 0.05 volts, maybe more. But 0.05 is the minimum we're looking for, just to see it's getting a signal. Yeah, good volts there. I can pull the carburetor off. I can physically see when I twist the throttle, the butterfly valve does open. The next thing I want to check is that this diaphragm up in here is not torn. I'm going to pull this carb apart. I'm going to check every jet. Make sure they're not clogged. Looks like the low end jet might be clogged, but I can't imagine it would still work at open throttle once you get off that low end jet. But it'd be a good time for cleaning anyway. If you can't see daylight through it, holding up to the sky, it's not clean. So I'm just going to go to a new one. So I don't think that jetting was our problem, but at least we did a little bit of preventative maintenance on the bike. I think that jet was about to be fully clogged. Let's look in the transmission. That's a lot of work I've been doing on this thing. Kevin said, hey, something looks wrong in the transmission. I told Kevin, you don't know what you're talking about, Kevin. You just twist the throttle. I'll do all the maintenance. But Kevin might have been onto something. You notice anything funny here? This bike is stuck in high gear. We're not going to show Kevin this video because I don't want him to think he's right. But that belt right there, that should be small, and this one should be around the big part. And that thing is tight. And this fell out. I recognize that. That's a piece of the variator. We have got a variator that had done come apart. Looks like all those little black things came out that hold it in place. And And all the little balls got jumbled up, or the rollers got jumbled up inside there and got beat up and smashed around. That's interesting. This is a good NCY one too. Looks like there's damage all over this variator. Look at that. Wow. I guess those little black things, the little Teflon things came out, turned to mush. This thing was sliding up and down on there, wearing a groove in it, till it finally got sideways enough that it came apart. I'm going to toss this back together with no variator in it. I just want to get the flywheel on there. I got the spacer and the back plate on there just so it's at the right place. And no variator, no belt. Put the cover on. See if that solves our problem. Alright, you guys are sworn to secrecy. Don't tell Kevin. Don't share the video with him. I can't have him knowing he was right.
Dang, that's messed up.
I remember when I crashed at 2 in the morning.